was great timing. All right, well, I am Camila, and I'm with Pixigono, and we have author Rowyn Adelaide with us today. She is the author of the upcoming Fate of the Embered series, the first book that's coming out in March of Withering Dreams. How are you, Rowyn?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being with me today and for just chatting with us about your book. It's
Yeah,
coming
no
up.
problem. Yeah, I'm very excited. It's all like it's just crazy to me that this is all happening. So
Yeah, and
it's I'm very excited.
that's awesome. This is your first book, right? This is going to be your debut.
Yes, yes,
That's
absolutely.
that's very
Better
good.
late
And
than never.
what?
Better late than never.
Right? No, that's a lesson that I kind of need to learn. I long story short, I've been having something in the works for like 20 years, and I'm like eventually, and it's probably never going to end up. But you're right.
Do
But
it. You can do
oh,
it.
maybe if I have time. But
I
speaking
hear.
of time, I did have time to read your book, and I it was one of those stories that just kind of like grabbed me by the balls, imaginary, of course. And I was constantly thinking about it and was like constantly theorizing in my head and thinking about that instead of working, all that fun stuff. And I just first want to congratulate you. It is so well written,
Thank you.
so
Thank.
well written, very very nicely done. It's a very vivid piece. You literally feel like you're in there.
Oh, thank
So
you.
no, yeah, of course. But I just wanted to ask. So, how long were you working on the Fate of the Embered series?
Yeah, no problem. So I actually started this first book. I started it the end of 2023. And so I worked on it through all of 2024, just not knowing what I was doing in the sense that like I need better time management because my goal is to get book two and three both out next year. And so I've just set more deadlines for
Oh
myself.
my gosh, yes.
Like messing around for over a year. But yeah, that first one took a little over a year to complete.
That's
Um,
awesome. No, that's great. It shows like some it shows passion in your work. It's awesome, and I love the cover. This is the
thank you.
lovely cover. It's gonna be terrible. I'm gonna put a cover right here, right there. This is the cover. The cover is beautiful. But
Thank you.
oh, you're welcome. What was It's a really cool story. I was talking to you about it earlier. It reminds me of certain shows. Like it reminds me of Severance. It's got the same kind of vibes of like Wicked and Hunger Games and things like that. And I what was did you just kind of take little like inspiration here and there, or was it something you've always thought about?
Yeah, no, I love that question. Actually, some of the things that you said it made you remind you of, I've actually seen all of those things and I love them, but I didn't recognize, I guess, that they kind of pulled some, inspiration from those places. So I think just inherently as humans, right, we take things we love and we like tuck them away inside of us, and then it just kind of comes out in this like conglomeration of, what I created. So I wasn't particularly thinking of any of those things while writing it, but
Right.
I can now see there's obviously little parts. I'm like, oh yeah, oh that's so cool that you said that.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
that was great. Especially I remember when Severance came out, I was completely obsessed with it. I'm still obsessed with it. Can't wait for season 2. But
yeah.
like I was reading
Super.
that and I was like, "Ooh, the vibes." And the same kind of like, "Oh no," like, ah. It was
I
it
love
was
it.
it was great. So like what drew you to the romantasy genre? It's I don't know if it's new or not. I'm new to it, so please, if
Okay.
you know more, educate me on it. Um, I I just got into the genre literally in September when I started reading Fourth Wing, so I'm
Oh,
very new to
that's
it.
oh my gosh, you have like such a fun journey ahead of you. That's awesome. I love
Yeah,
it.
I devoured
Um,
Throne of Glass and like
oh
I
yeah,
made that my entire personality. So you know.
I love it. I love that. Um, yeah, so I've always been drawn in general to like fantasy, sci-fi, paranormal stuff. But romance in particular, like every subgenre, excuse me, I've been reading romance since I was like 13. Like my mom accidentally gave me a romance novel, not realizing like how
Whoops.
spicy it was.
Whoops.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is what this is. But no, ever since then, I've just devoured romances. But that magical kind of like moody, spooky element in stories in general, I've just
Mhm.
always been really drawn to that. Like I always want to have some sort of like magic
Oh,
when I
and
write.
you do it really well. There were a couple parts reading the book, which I will tell you later. Um, I at moments I was like, all right, shivers? No, no thanks. Absolutely not. Next, like no, do not want. Like, but yeah, you handle. There's a little tiny bit of horror elements in there too. They're very very
Yeah.
cool.
Yes. No, thanks for yeah. So actually one of my favorite romance series I've ever read is by Karina Halley, and it's called the Experiment in Terror series. And I honestly think she was a pioneer in horror romance back in the day. Um and it was the first one I'd ever read, and I just loved that. I loved like the dark, eerie kind of vibe. And yeah, I definitely wanted to incorporate that in mine. So
That's cool. No, you do a really good job at it. I was really hooked into the world. I was a little skeptical at first. I was like, do I like this? No, I don't. I love it. Like it was one of those things. No, it was.
No, I appreciate that. I think that's more of a reward if you go in a little skeptical, especially with like an unknown series or an unknown author. Um, because especially with fantasy, you have to do like world building, a lot
Yes.
of that at the beginning. So I feel like when people give up without getting past that like initial world building,
Right.
they can miss out.
Right. And world building, you do some fine world building. Like it's very very well done. Your descriptions are so good. There were certain points that I could literally like see Saren, like her expression or just how what she was doing and how she was feeling and what she was smelling and hearing based on just your descriptions. They're absolutely stunning descriptions. Um,
Thank you.
and oh, you're welcome. And as a writer, like as a new writer, sometimes it's really hard to do. It can be kind of daunting because you
Sure.
have the legends. You have like Martin,
Right.
Tolkien, Mass. You have all these people, and then it's like, how am I going to come up with a world that compares but not really to that?
Right.
But no,
Yeah.
I think yours, like you definitely set yours apart from there, from like the, from what I've seen so far, the regular kind of
Yeah.
story. It's a good, cool story. Cool
Yeah.
story, bro.
Thank
Cool
you.
story.
Great. No, no, big deal. Thank you.
um, what was your favorite part about writing? Like the, well, I don't know if you've written the series yet. I don't know if you've written like I apparently suddenly can't speak English anymore. Um, I don't know if you've written more than just the first book. I think you said the second one comes out soon.
In the summer is
Summer,
the
yes,
plan,
yes,
if
yes, yes.
everything goes according to my plan, since I'm doing it all on my own.
Oh
So,
wow.
except for my editor, I do have an editor who's phenomenal. But
Yes.
yes, that's the plan of summer. I actually just finished. I'm reached chapter 5 today, so I'm in chapter 5 chapters in. And then I also have been working on. I'm decided to do a little extra bonus scene for book 1 that will only be available in the ebook, and it's from
I
one
love
of
that.
the main characters' point of view. So I don't want to give it away. So I'm just
I
gonna
really
have that
want
little
that.
bonus in the ebook.
That is awesome. That's cool. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
gonna be cool. That's gonna be really
I'm
cool. I'm
excited.
excited. But
Yeah.
what was your favorite part about it? Or like what was your
Of the
like
process or the whole book?
just the process? Are you more of like do you like the world building more? Are you more into writing dialogue or like scenes? Like what's your would you say forte?
That's a great question. I feel like my writing, I heard someone call it like lyrical, right? And I like the kind of when I read it, I feel like because I'm really into music, right, and art and like the vibes. So I think that's the most fun part for me is just like I don't know how to explain it. So when I'm writing, if I'm really into like a scene or describing something, or even like the inner feelings and thoughts of someone, it's like my whole brain just like goes dark, and I like hyper tunnel fixate on that. And I'm like, what are they feeling? What are they smelling? And I think that's the most fun part, like all the sensory kind of inner workings of
No,
what's going on,
for
if that makes
sure.
sense.
That is awesome. That's cool. Like I said, I've been working on something for like 20 years, but I've written like little short stories, and it might not seem that way, but I am a very angry person. So when I write, I usually tend to channel a lot of that. So even like when I do, I was a little bit of a theater kid. I wanted to be an actress, and I like when I was a kid. So I developed a lovely hobby of LARPing. So I
Okay.
do live action role play, and so it's like you improvise. It's improvising, like it's improv acting. God, I cannot talk today.
Oh, you're doing great. I love that. I'm
So
my husband and I, we are obsessed with Halloween, so we do like dress up costumes, like, but they have to be like accurate to whatever we're trying to like, you
yeah,
know, and we are,
yeah.
and we like the Renaissance Fair too, and we dress up
Yeah.
for that.
Oh yeah, no.
So,
I've got plenty of costumes for that, which are I love going to those, but I take a lot of like the anger, and as you say that you like apply things to your writing, apply it towards like I'm always like typecast as like the short angry one who's very good at screaming at everyone, and that's about it. So it's like but I understand that, and I feel that. I feel like, and it's something that people can mistake for being dramatic, or it's something that people can mistake for just like um being too emotional. But like, are you even human if you don't feel anything ever?
right,
You know, like,
right,
no, I like
right.
that.
Yeah, I think stuff like that, like even LARPing, writing, music, whatever your thing is, that is cathartic, right? So when I'm writing, I'm obviously bits of yourself are being put into this,
Mm-hmm.
like things I've felt or experienced, and that's what I have to draw on. So I think that just happens naturally when you are someone who like is creative and wants to get it out,
Right,
you
yeah.
know?
And it's hard. Would you say, I was thinking about this the other day. I've been trying to for like years now. Been trying to like launch like my voice out there and kind of just have a fun little place where I can put my thoughts into place, and it's just been such a ride, and just for years and years of trying to doing it, I feel like the creative outlets are just so oversaturated.
Yeah. Yeah, they are, aren't they? Especially with like the easy access to social media and just the internet in general.
And AI, yeah.
It's it's really hard to get your voice out there if you want to put your art out there.
I
But by
know.
the way, you write so beautifully. Your article
Oh,
was so fun to read, and it was just wonderful. So
oh,
thank
gee,
you.
thank you. I thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm a very like professionally casual person. Just a very casually professional. That little line. But I don't know. I like to write like I talk. I feel like you relate to that, but I like to write how I talk.
Oh, that's wonderful, and I think that's so personable. Like you don't
Mm-hmm.
just sound like a cookie cutter, whatever.
Yeah.
So I could tell. I could tell. It was nice to read that
Oh, thank you.
for
I
sure.
appreciate it. What's something that you absolutely did not enjoy about writing this so far?
Oh my goodness. Let me. That's a great
That you
question.
like sit down and you're like, oh, it's this kind of day today. I don't want to do this.
Oh, I love that. I love being poked, so I have to like use my brain. So let's see. I mean, in general, I'll answer it two ways. So one, being an indie author and literally doing all of it myself. I had like taught myself how to use Affinity, which is comparable to Adobe,
Uh
to
huh.
like make the cover and get stock
You
photos.
made the
And
cover?
I did. Yeah, I still am tweaking it to this day because I'm a psycho, but whatever.
I love
I
this
like
cover so much, just so you know. It's so pretty.
thank you.
Uh huh.
It just like figuring all these things out it's been a challenge because it's so much. I didn't realize what all goes into like actually doing all the things outside of writing a book. So
Right.
I had to learn very quickly. Um, to figure that out. So that was a bit challenging, but also this is amazing experience in general. So that's rewarding. As far as writing, my maybe the most challenging part, I think so I think I'm considered like what do they call it? Plotter versus pantser, I think.
Okay.
So like I'll
Okay.
write a general outline. I use the I really like the save the cat like outlining method because it's just very direct and straightforward. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll make this general outline and then that's wonderful. But then I'm writing and honestly my characters are like screw you. I'm just going to go do this. And so I don't hate it, but it can be frustrating because it'll throw off my entire rest of my
No, I can see
idea.
that.
So
That is
yeah,
hilarious.
that's what I would say.
That is cool. No, I don't know. I think I would be kind of in the middle. Cause and day by day, I'm more of a pantser than a plotter. I like to say I'm a plotter, but I'm not.
In my heart,
I
in my
have
heart,
the tools to be a plotter, and I sometimes use them.
I love
But
it.
no, I don't know. I don't. I think I lack discipline to like sit my ass down and finish the goddamn book. That's the only thing that's keeping it from going out. So
I get it. Like I guess the only thing I can say is like I said, this one took over a year, even, but it's also taken like 15, 20 years for me to actually sit down and do it, right?
right, right,
So now I'm learning. I'm like, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna just
yeah.
do it. You're gonna stare at your computer until you get something out.
Right, because I mean, it's usually like something you've been tweaking with since you were a kid, and it just evolves. Like this thing, I became obsessed with Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter all at the same time. So
Yeah,
a medieval manifestation of kind of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, slight Star Wars inspo.
yeah,
Um, let's be like Tolkien and make our own language, and then type in it, and then let's mind you, we are 14. I'm not American. I'm originally from Brazil, and I moved up here when I was 12. So
okay.
I did not know English as I do now. So going back to those 50 Microsoft Word pages and fixing the grammar and the vocabulary, I just wanted to punch the screen. It's so cringy. But
Oh,
it's
I mean, but
evolved.
that's
It evolved from that to like a three parter. Now I'm like, maybe I'll make a different series. So I made something else out of it. And I'm like, no, maybe I'll just write a LARP about it. And it's like, it's just doing circles until I figure
yeah.
out what the hell it's gonna be.
But that's part of its journey, right? And your journey. So it's kind
Right.
of cool. You can see like what it has turned into or what it will be, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
How many books do you think this Fate of the Embered will have?
So originally I planned it to be a trilogy, and I'm not saying it won't be, but like I said, like if these characters are gonna take me on a ride, it might be four-ish. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. My plan is three or four.
Okay.
I've been saying series just in case, because I don't want people to come for me if you know if I say
Right.
a certain number. But that's what I have in mind so far.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's awesome. Nah, four is a good number.
Yeah.
It gives you like
I,
one for introduction, and then like conflict, and then oh, so much conflict, and then resolution.
For sure. I definitely do not think I could drag this out into like, seven books like SJM style. Like it's not gonna happen for me.
um,
However, I'm toying with some different like side stories with side characters once this one is done. So
spin-offs. We're talking spin-offs. That's so cool.
yeah. Because I think when you're writing characters, as like right, you get attached to these characters because you put so much and you think so much about how they think and what their personality is,
Oh yeah.
and so if you don't kill them off, you want them. Sometimes you want to know what their journey was. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, hmm
You can always do an origin story, Assassin's Blade
yeah,
style. You know.
yep, yep. I've saw that too, and I've thought of stories for like the villains' backstories, kind of things. But yeah,
Speaking
I
of
don't know. There's
villain, I'm not gonna
yeah.
say anything. All I'm going to say is I like villain. I like villain. That's all. I'm a little something you'll know about me as we as we adventure through the world of books together. Um, I am a fan of villains. I
Oh yeah.
love me a good written villain, and I more often than not root for the villains than the protagonists.
Oh,
I feel like
totally.
they're more relatable in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
depends. But like I really like your villain so
Thank you.
far.
I do wanna flesh the villain or villains stories out. Because
Mm.
I think that's just like you said, like that's just the most interesting thing. It's interesting for your main characters, right? And the heroes, but like why are you the way you are? Like why are you so evil? What happened to you?
What?
So like
Who
I just
hurt
love
you?
that.
Who hurt you? Yeah. No, I like that. That's great. What's if you could describe your book with 3 words?
Oh man.
Just 3 words. Not
Oh
three
god.
sentences, just 3 words.
Okay. Oh shoot, I should have come better prepared. And I'm
No.
gonna get the sword to save me. What's happening? No, I'm just kidding. I would say okay. I would say dreamy, and not just because it involves like, dreams and everything. So
Ooh.
dreamy, um, moody, and hmm, enigmatic.
Mm.
I don't know. I just threw that one out so I could have
I
a bigger
like
word.
that word. I like that word. I like that word. I like that word. But
I
no,
was gonna say, spooky, but
if you could be like, you've introduced 3 characters so far, correct?
yes.
You've
Three main
the
characters.
3 main characters. Yes.
Yes.
Saren, we have our main female character, Saren, who's
Hmm?
awesome. I really like her. We have Kaden, who's
Yes.
also awesome. I really like him. And then we have Gavril, who's awesome, and
Yes.
I really like him. This is all I
Yes.
can say. This is, you guys thought I was going to say something different. I'm not spoiling anything. Which one of the 3 do you think you are most like?
Oh, wow. I love that. Your questions are so thought-provoking. Really making me dig deep. I love it. I would say I wouldn't say my person. Okay, I feel like like I said before, you pull pieces of yourself, right? So I feel like there's little pieces of me in all of the characters. Like even the villains, because you have to understand where they're coming from somehow. So, right? So, but if I had to pick out those 3, it's probably Saren. I mean, that's not trying to cop out, but
Right.
you have to be in her head the most because this book is just from her point of view,
Yeah.
right? So, um, but if you had to sprinkle me in there too, I'd probably say a bit of Kaden and Brina, her best friend, like the sassy part, because I love Brina. I love her so much.
There were a few points where I was literally laughing out loud.
Yeah, she's so good.
I wish I
I
had
was
a
good.
Brina in real life.
You know, right? I was
She's,
giggling like,
yeah,
oh, I'm like this is perfect. She's gonna say this wild thing here, so
nah,
yeah,
she's great.
love it.
That's great. Well, thank you again so much for hanging out with us and just chatting about Of Within Dreams and the Fate of the Embered series. It comes out, you said, March 11th? 20th.
March 20th. Yes,
I,
close.
I'm not good with
No, no,
dates.
no. My friend's book is coming out on the 11th. Jenny Grimes,
That's
Shades of Pop.
right. That's right.
Yes.
I'm actually going to talk to her soon as well. So
Oh no.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed her book too.
Her
So
book is awesome as well. I was an ARC reader for her. Yeah, no, that's been really neat. Sorry, now I'm just going on a tangent, but I
no.
love that's one of my favorite parts is that I've been able to meet so many people, and her and I have been like on this journey kind of together with almost
Mm-hmm.
very similar timing for everything. So that's been
Mm-hmm.
really exciting. But she's amazing.
No,
Um,
for sure.
Sorry, but yes, it comes out March 20th, which I picked that date because I'm a dork and it aligns with the spring equinox, which is very important to the book. Um, so I kind of wanted that date to kind of, represent something from it. But yep, it will be ebook, paperback, hardcover, and on KU or
That's
Kindle
awesome.
Unlimited.
Awesome,
So yeah,
awesome. So March 20th definitely has my stamp of approval. I love it. Love it so much. It's great. Um, I will put the link to pre-order it somewhere on this
Yeah,
lovely
thank you.
screen. But again, thank you